Hello, is this Mr. Gambino here with a new video? In this video, I'm going to be doing my event week guide for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. But yeah, starting off, the main menu this time around features the HSW Premium Test Ride, the HSW Devastate 8, 3 times money RP on Extraction, and then it also features like the 2 times research speed for the bunker. And then it has a thing on there for the HSW time trial this time around for the What's New section. So I figured I would go a bit more in depth with it this time around. And yeah, this time I treated it a little bit different. Usually I just tend to follow the like GPS destination, because especially for the HSW ones you can typically do that. But yeah, this time around I kind of went a little different. I decided to go on like the train tracks near the Ron Alternate's time trial, and then I stayed on it basically until like the train tracks cross like the highway. Once it crosses to like the other side of the highway, then I go onto the highway, and then I pretty much go to the left of the highway because the GPS will actually kind of get a bit wonky. GPS gets a bit wonky there, and then once it corrected itself, then I just followed the GPS to the destination. And I think I had like 15-ish like seconds left. And yeah, I'm not saying that you can't like follow the GPS route this time around. I assume it's pretty easy if you just follow like the purple like GPS route, if you like put it on the like marker thing and all that. But yeah, to make it a bit different, I did decide to go on the train tracks. Plus, I'm not big on dealing with the traffic, so going on the train tracks obviously reduces the traffic as well, which is nice. Untitled Premium Test Ride this time around, it is the Prisma Devastate 8, which just the last event did get its full release for people that were not on the GTA Plus like membership thing and all that. So because I spent a lot of time last time, I'm just going to say it's the #1 supercar for top speed. So it is kind of a worthwhile pickup, I would definitely say. Onto doubled research speeds and then 50% off bunker supplies. Personally, I feel that doubled research speeds are not really going to be all that worth it. In my opinion, it's definitely better off to just use your like bunker supplies towards making money for like the business and whatnot. Especially in the days of Cayo Perico heist. And yeah, if you fast track research, the most it costs per item is $225,000, and apparently there's 51 items, and I did calculations, and it calculates up to $11,475,000 to fast track every single research upgrade and all that. So quite frankly, I feel it's just worth spending the money to fast track these days, because basically every single Cayo Perico heist, since you're basically going to make like 1 to like 1.5 million average, I would say, you can definitely get a good few to several like research things just by doing a bunch of Cayo Perico heists. And then yeah, the 50% off the bunker supplies, it's only normally like $75,000, so it's not that huge of savings, especially if you're just going to do one thing of supplies for a solo sale mission. It's not really going to be all that worth it. If you're one that does big sales though, with like friends and stuff though, that can definitely be pretty damn good though, I would say. Onto 2 times money and RP on special vehicle work. Quite frankly, I honestly do not really recommend this money opportunity all that much. And honestly, it's not really that much of a good money-making opportunity, in particular for this event week. The money opportunities are definitely pretty lackluster this time around. But yeah, they pretty much are reskinned like contact missions, that you basically pay out like contact missions. So like at most, I feel it's going to be like 40-ish, like $1,000 or something like per mission, I would assume. And yeah, that's definitely not very good money, especially considering you have to go to your office to host the missions every single time, or obviously you can join like someone else's for your like the quick job stuff on like the phone and whatnot. But yeah, for a couple I would probably avoid for the special vehicle works. I would probably say mainly the aquatic ones aren't really all that worth doing, especially the Blazer Aqua, because you're going to be pretty exposed on that one, and then the technical Aqua, it's just going to be kind of pretty slow, I assume, on the water. And then if you're playing with more than like 2 players, maybe the Phantom Wedge one is kind of one to avoid, because 3 players or more, that will require somebody to stay on like the back of the like Phantom Wedge, which would make them pretty exposed and whatnot. So I would really only mainly recommend doing special vehicle work if you need any of the like special vehicle trade prices, quite frankly. Onto to get the black Hawken little logo tee. For me, this was not a new login reward, so it's one of those many like very recycled like login rewards here. But if for some reason you do not have it, you just need to like get out of like a property and whatnot. And then once the like prompt disappears, you can literally just do like a change of clothing and it should automatically save the game pretty much instantaneously. Onto the business discounts this time around. Including the 50% off the bunker supplies, there is also that same 50% off business supplies, but for the motorcycle club. And yeah, again, it's basically the same thing with the motorcycle club. Getting very little is not that good, but if you get a lot of it for like the whole like business being full, then that's gonna give you some pretty good value. Plus with motorcycle club, I don't recommend doing small sales anyways, because even buying just one thing of supplies, I think you can still get like free post-op vans and stuff like that. And then vehicle warehouses, if you set those up correctly, you can make it where you can only get like the top range of vehicles, which is pretty nice. That can still be a decent moneymaker with kind of very little risk depending on like the sessions you are in and whatnot. Because you don't have to like pay for the cars, you just like source them and whatnot. So if you set it up correctly, it can still be okay, but it's not really that great anymore, considering how Preco Heist is a thing. Special cargo warehouses, since you can get 5 of those, that's a very huge discount, 30% off the special cargo warehouses, given that you can buy 5 huge warehouses. That can be a good ton of savings in terms of money and whatnot, so I definitely recommend, especially the special cargo warehouses on business discounts this time around. Onto 3 times money in RP on Extraction, that is the adversary mode, that is on a money opportunity this time around. And again, like I mentioned previously, it is one that they have brought back for a limited time only. So once the month of April is finished, I assume this mode will get vaulted once again, like they typically do. They only bring it back for like a month. So if you want to play a mode that's not typically in the game all the time anymore, then I do highly recommend playing Extraction. And quite frankly, I do feel it is the best of the 2 money opportunities between this and then the special vehicle work. And yeah, I do not count the like motorcycle business stuff and the bunker stuff as a money opportunity, because it's just supplies on discounts, not the stuff itself on a money opportunity. And yeah, winning 3 rounds of Extraction gets you a lump sum bonus of $150,000. And quite frankly, for some combat tips, I feel that like using the Valkyrie as the hit squad can definitely be pretty good. Especially if you're like at a pretty good altitude, that way you don't get like blown up by like the sticky bombs and all that. In case like the target were to be on like a dirt bike or something, then you might be able to mow them down with the like Valkyrie, plus obviously there's like the side guns. The thing to note with the Valkyrie though is like the mod .0 version, which I think they made particularly for the adversary mode, which I think excludes the like explosive cannon. So I do not think you can use the explosive cannon on the like Valkyrie in the mode. For the target, I recommend just hiding in like a really good spot that you're not gonna really be able to like be found in. And obviously, since you can see like every other player on the map, I recommend using like a flare gun to signal your bodyguard. And then quite frankly, for the bodyguard, I think the best like vehicle choice would have to be the insurgent pickup, because yeah, that's armored and the hit squad might be able to have explosive weaponry like sticky bombs and stuff. I actually forget, but I think that might be the case. So I feel for that reason, because of the armor, I do recommend the insurgent pickup for the bodyguards in particular. Onto the prize ride this time around, it is the Grotty Prisma Classic. And definitely do think that this is a worthwhile pickup for the prize ride this time around, because the challenge is not that bad. You just have to win 7 street races, and as long as you exchange like wins with like a friend or something, it's guaranteed to go pretty quickly. And even if you're going against like one other like random player, it shouldn't really be all that bad. just gotta hope you do all that good and all that. And yeah, it's a very good vehicle in the 8th generation version of the game as well, but especially in the 9th generation version of the game, whereas like the HSW conversion, being the only HSW convertible like sport classic vehicle. So especially in 9th generation, it's a very worthwhile pickup because it can be converted. But even in the 8th gen version, it's very good as well. Onto the regular test track vehicles for the event week here. There is the classic Gringer 3600LX, the ENS Deity, and then the Dinka RT 3000. And if there is one that I absolutely do not recommend this time around, it would be the Dinka RT 3000. Because it's actually not that good of a sport tuner vehicle in the game for like the street races and the pursuit races. And yeah, for any of the like performance stuff I mentioned, refer to like the spreadsheet that is in the description of the video. But yeah, the Gringer 3600LX and then the ENS Deity though, even though they are not on discount, I do highly recommend these vehicles. They are pretty good. And that is because they are some of the Amani Tech vehicles from the latest contract DLC. Which means you can put machine guns and like slick mines on them. And armor as well. They even come with bullet like resistant glass as stock as well, so you don't have to like put upgrades on for the bullet resistant glass. And then because they're Amani Tech vehicles, you also get the option for like the remote control unit or the missile lock-on jammer. Obviously, remote control unit turns them into like RC, like personal vehicles, basically. And then the missile lock-on jammer prevents being locked onto, which is quite nice. But yeah, a couple interesting things with both of those is that the Gringer 3600LX is kind of the most like civilian-looking Amani Tech vehicle, I would say. So in that sense, the Gringer 3600LX being very civilian-looking could make it one of the better like RC control unit like vehicles for the Amani Tech vehicles. At the same time, because it has that like crazy 8-seat capacity where people can like sit on like the sides of the vehicles with like the side steps and whatnot. That also makes it one of the better vehicles as well for the missile lock-on jammer, so I would probably recommend missile lock-on jammer on the Gringer 3600LX. And then ENS Deity, as far as I remember hearing, it's actually the heaviest of the Amani Tech vehicles, which means it's hard to be bounced around by like explosives and stuff like that in the Deity for some reason. So that's a couple things about those. And yeah, Deity, maybe missile lock-on jammer for that one, I would probably say. Onto the podium vehicle of the week this time around, it is the Opa Tailgater S. And it is one of those like 17 like tuner vehicles in the game in that like tuner subclass. And it's one of the couple that is in the sedan classing, so the classing for a tuner is pretty unique. And it's also the only 4-door like tuner vehicle in the game, so it's actually pretty good if you're going to do robbery contracts of 3 and 4 players, I would say. Onto the discounts for the event week, 30% off the Coil Rocket Voltic. In my opinion, it's definitely pretty worth it, since it does give you access to the Velocity VIP work, which is pretty good, especially for 2 times money RP on VIP work that could happen in the future. And then 40% off the Class A Weaponized Tampa. I definitely recommend that one because it has a fully rotatable machine gun that you can get in not that many vehicles, especially land vehicles that have like fully rotatable machine guns. So it gives a pretty unique purpose. Weaponized Tampa is pretty damn good, especially for contact missions and for taking out moving vehicles, in my opinion. And Heavy Nightshark, 40% off. Heavy Nightshark is definitely one of the most armored vehicles in the game, so I do highly recommend the Heavy Nightshark. In my opinion, the one weak point of the Nightshark is kind of lack of good weaponry, but yet it's still one of the more armored vehicles in the game. The Karen Sultan RS Classic, that one's actually one of the best like sport tuner vehicles in the game. One of the best tuner subclass vehicles of the game, because it's actually like the #1 lap time of all of the 17 tuner subclass vehicles. And it's also got some pretty damn average lap time, pretty average top speed as well. So it's definitely super useful for those like street races and pursuit races. I gotta see Torero 50% off. That one's just okay. I'd pass on the Torero kind of because there's the Prisma Classic that you can easily obtain through the like prize ride challenges I showed earlier. But it's okay for lap time, but yeah, Torero not really necessarily all that worth it when there's the Prisma Classic that can be easily obtained. The Karen Technical Aqua, again, similar to the Rocket Voltic, you do unlock like one of those like VIP works for the Technical Aqua. So because it has its own money opportunity now alone, I feel it makes the Technical Aqua pretty worth getting in a sense. And then finally, the Emperor ETR1. If there's one vehicle I would say that's not really worth getting, it would be the ETR1, because apparently I had to look at the performance on the spreadsheet that's linked in the description from Ruffy1322, and ETR1's not good supercar performance whatsoever. But yeah, that is basically all the discount advice I have here, and then finally, onto like the pre-em race and then like the time trials and stuff. Pre-em race apparently is 8-figure bonus for the Sport Classic class, so especially on 9th generation you want to be using the Turismo Classic with HSW upgrades. And on like 8th gen version, definitely the regular like Turismo Classic and vehicles like the Cheetah Classic and whatnot. And again, have a look at that like spreadsheet in the like description for more ideas on like Sport Classic vehicles. And then you get a regular time trial. My only advice for a regular time trial would be to like take the road that's pretty close to like the arena at the beginning of the time trial. Taking that dirt road can be kind of a time save. And last but not least, onto the RC Bandito time trial, since I already went over HSW time trial more in depth. RC Bandito time trial, my personal opinion, you want to be doing it at nighttime or in like certain weather conditions such as like rain. Because at nighttime and in like certain weather conditions like rain, it will actually despawn the pedestrians from my experience. So it will make the power station RC Bandito time trial easier if you do it at certain times or certain weather conditions. But yeah, I think that will finally be it for this video. Hope you